All right, here we are about 9 o'clock Central Time on the 25th of April, and exciting things going on tonight. The texts were released. They were released not to the public, but they were released. So, exciting times. We're going to get into Cueanon for April 25th, a bunch of new drops. I'm going to talk to you about a bunch of new things that I found that are going to be exciting for you to keep up with the Q. A new app that I'm going to talk to you about. Go over some exciting things going on Twitter that I want you to join me on. That'll be fun. Hey, Mike H., how you doing? Felicia, good to see you. Go to Mama, good to see you. Mill, Rory, good to see you all. Yeah, so we're going to talk about text being released. And it actually there's a debate on how to handle it. I imagine that's from the deep state. And they're trying to buy time, and it's toxic, and it's dangerous, and there's threats. So we got to be lifting this up in prayer, guys. I think this is dangerous times as they are in the death rolls, the deep state is, knowing that they're in big trouble. So good evening to you, Rory, and hello, fellow patriots. You got to see, good to see you, SS. So here we are. We're going to dig into some of these awesome Q posts. We're going to actually go over a new app I'm going to talk to you about. We're going to then go over a Mark Taylor, some news, and then some Mark Taylor prophecy. So a lot to go over, so let's get into it. First thing I want to show you is this new app. So it's 99 cents, but tell you it's worth every penny. I'll show you it here in just a second. In fact, I found this from Jordan Sather. That's the Destroying the Illusion, right? You've probably seen him before. And he's got this, he alerted me to this on Twitter. That's one reason I love Twitter. And so that's this app right here. You can actually go to your app store and download this, and it's basically a little, you'll hear this. There you go, the drop. Did you hear that? So that is the Q drop, and then it pulls up all the Q drops. And they're kind of consolidated and squishy, but you can click it, and it literally shows like that's a latest drop that just dropped a second ago. And what's cool, it gives you alerts. So I was sitting there, I was completely ready to record, watching some Sean Hannity, and all of a sudden, boop, gave me there's a new Q drop. So there's a new Q drop just here in the last 15 minutes, and the app told me it. So go to your app store, just Q drops, type in there. Question, and it'll cost you 99 cents, but I think it's well worth it. Another thing to show you about it that makes it worth it to me is it's got a lexicon that I think is pretty cool. There's a drop, which is kind of cool, and it shows you the drops, and you can go over here to the lexicon, and it shows you things like what does number 2 mean, 187, AF1, Adam R. So it gives you a real good list of a lexicon that goes on and on and on and on and on and on. So anyway, highly recommended the new Q app that just came out. I think it was in the last couple days. I found it to be really useful already because I can be boom, new Q drop. It kind of gives you the update. So hey, now let's get into some of those Q drops. Actually, if you look at this here is the. If I'm going to go back here a little bit because I was scrolling. But if you go back to April 20. You probably remember this. This is including the Moab. This is what happened. Now, let's let you know, right before I came on, I was looking at Sarah Carter's Twitter that said, we're still waiting. And it was funny. Then just after that happened, a few minutes later, Q actually took her tweet and said, it's been released to the public. That was actually what's right behind me, right there. So we'll get to that here in a second. So this is April 24th. The first one was talking about these two articles. It says they feel threatened. Obviously talking about the deep state. This is about us. So now they're talking about us as the Cueanon community, the truthers, the people that are part of the Great Awakening. They expect more outcry. So basically they're telling us to expect more. We are being set up and targeted. There's a DDoS. That's a type of attack, a computer attack to try to keep us from being able to get online and not be able to see Q. They want to block us from that, right? And for a conspiracy LARP. All for a conspiracy LARP. What's kind of funny about that is basically he's kind of being sarcastic here, because LARP is a live action role player, right? It's somebody who's faking like they have information they don't, and they basically fake everybody out. They're being a live action role player. And then they have a big conspiracy, and they just get a bunch of people to follow him. Well, he's been doing this since October 28th. He's proven himself over and over and over again, and they're trying trying to say it's a conspiracy, and now they're doing all these articles. We saw it from the New York Times, we saw it from the Washington Post, we saw it from all these times. Now we see it from NBC News. And so if you look at that NBC News article, as the world turns, no, that's a different one. Here it is. After Toronto attack, online misogynists praise suspect as new saint. Online communities, this is it. Online communities of men are celebrating and committing acts of violence. So this whole theme here, and maybe why they had the false flag of this particular person, is this person supposedly was on some online boards, but then they twist it to 4chan and 8chan and how it's evil if you're just looking at QAnon.pub. Not gonna work. So this is NBC News in on the fight. And Q linked to this, and it's basically just talking about how this guy killed 10 people in Toronto. Shame, I know it is, but we're pretty sure it's a false flag, guys, because look at, they're talking about boards like Reddit. Look at this, Reddit, 4chan, and 8chan. So they just completely twisted this thing that he was on some bizarre board, and they go into all this weird stuff about how, so boy, don't go to 4chan, don't go to 8chan, don't go to Reddit, you might find out the truth. Listen to us, the fake news mockingbird media. That's the narrative of this whole thing. And it's really sad when you look at it. But the whole point, what Q's telling us about, if you go through this whole article, it's basically all about this person was all caught up. And the only reason he did this is because he was found a natural home of 4chan and the darker parts of Reddit. See, they're talking to us. We know what the dark web is. You can't even get to it without illegally being on there, right? And it's not even you can't even see it. Now Reddit's not dark, neither is 4chan, neither is 8chan. Anonymous boards are not the dark part of the internet like they want to paint this. So don't let them paint their fake narrative. Let's fight this all the way, right? So that's what he's talking about here with his first one. They must win, because they know if they lose, if we, the millions of people now in this great awakening and are into QAnon and understand the fake news mockingbird media is lying to you every day, anything political, it's a complete narrative propaganda piece of crap. They get the 4 a.m. talking points. They take their burner phones that they throw away every week. Why would a reporter have to get a brand new phone every week? They're like spies. You know why? Because they're double agents. They're literally mockingbird double agents. Thousands of people in the media, including, we talked about it a couple times ago, right? With Megan, all these anti-Trumpers get narratives and they sound like parrots on every network. They're parrots across they say the same thing over and over again, and it's always anti-Trump because they have to take Trump out because Trump's taking out the deep state, right? So it says new strategy ? Here. Well, they have to do something with they're trying to ignore QAnon. Now it's getting so big they can't ignore it anymore. So now a new strategy here they're talking about, though, is the promise of jobs and money to everyone. So now this is, what are the Democrats going to do? They can't just fight on hating Trump and raising your taxes. So what are they going to have to do to try to overthrow Trump and impeach Trump? They need to figure out something. So they got desperate and nervous. So what do they do in this Fox News article? They try to offer you everything that's free. It's basically the Bernie Sanders strategy. Reparations, income handouts, guaranteed jobs. Dems tilt hard left with new pet projects in this whole article, and you can actually listen to the Fox News article as well. But you can see basically they're just offering all kinds of Bernie Sanders type things, right? So you will see if you go through this article, and I'll link it to and be under. But it's basically just a bunch of get this for free, get that for free, etc., 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 right? And that is the Bernie Sanders strategy, what they've moved to, the Democrats, and that's, I think, what Q's alerting us to there. Let me look at some of the discussion going on here. I see Sultry Feathers is back, Stephen Mahan, Janella Moore, a lot of people back on. Nina Brown, nice to see you. Celtic Rain, I don't think I've seen that number again. There is a FF guaranteed the FBI is near. If there's a false flag, guaranteed the FBI is near. That's exactly right, Celtic. I agree with you on that one. Jonelle is talking about some things on Smith Mundit is propaganda act that Obama repealed, making using propaganda against Americans legal. I saw that in a news article. It's just crazy. Or maybe it was a meme I saw about literally Obama making propaganda legal since the first time since 1947 or something like that, if I remember that. Hey, Larry. Hey, JM. Hey, so here we go. Let's get into this. We just got through those 2 articles. Stay awake, Q is saying. So obviously they're attacking us. Again, we saw 3 or 4 articles directly talking about QAnon being a conspiracy. Now we have a backdoor way of doing it, taking the false flag that happened in Toronto and turning it into don't go to 4chan, don't go to 8chan, don't go to Reddit. You know, obviously that was Reddit Great Awakening is my site, right? So they know that. They know that that's where we're learning things. So they're going to be attacking all of us. So again, let's pray for each other because there's going to be attacks. You know, I'm to be honest, I'm still surprised they're letting me go. I'm going to show you guys one thing though. It's kind of interesting, is that I 8 weeks ago applied to monetization. I know they demonetize all the videos anyway, right? So there's a couple things I was going to show you. First thing I was going to show you is the demographics. I was talking about this yesterday. Here's my demographics of the latest analytics. What's amazing to me is that the ages, we were talking about this at the end of yesterday, 65 years and older is 32% of my audience, and 55 years and older, you know, is basically 65% of my audience. It's kind of cool to just know that, right? Because I'm 54 years old, by the way. So I'm at in this category, which is 21. So literally, what is that? 60, 70, 87% of my audience is 45 years or older. And, you know, you think YouTube, I just thought it would be a lot of younger people. And there's, you know, I'm not reaching any younger people, really. I guess, Rory, you're 29, you're one of the 4%, right? So I appreciate all you guys, but it's diverse age ranges, but really the preponderance is 55 and older, which I thought was amazing. That was one thing I wanted to show you. Another thing I'll show you is just the subscribers and where they're from. Obviously, a ton of people from the United States, most of them. But look at Canada, United Kingdom, Australia, Netherlands, New Zealand, Germany. I got on Twitter with somebody from Germany, South Africa, Mexico, Sweden, Thailand, Philippines, India, Singapore, Brazil, France. This movement is global, guys. We're talking Ireland, Israel, Denmark, Spain, Puerto Rico, Costa Rica, Indonesia. So there's a lot of people from all over that are really interested in QAnon. At 58, 72, Paula, we got a bunch of people talking about their age. At 72, you beat Larry. Paula, nice to see you. So cool. And I'm trying to, last night we had a 10-year-old on, right? Somebody's son here was. So that's pretty cool as far as age ranges. But look at this. This is what's funny to me. I put this monetization things on. I'm not doing this for money. I know I obviously just turned this on, I think 8 weeks ago. What was interesting, it says, we'll email you decision usually within a week. And I've heard crickets, nothing, right? Now, they did have this thing that says, hey, we're backlogged by the end of April. We'll hopefully be up. Well, here we are. We're still crickets. We're at April 25th. And so this is a new way. If I'm a liberal, I would have probably been monetized right away, right? Within the week. Now here I am 8 weeks and they still haven't even turned it on. Look at it. Yeah, I was supposed to get to 4,000 before, and I'm 20x the number of watch hours, and they still haven't even reviewed it. You know, almost 8x over what you need from a subscriber base. So again, I've been there for almost 8 weeks, and they just ignore turning monetization on. That's just kind of the way this game works for these guys. So anyway, but at least they haven't knocked me off yet. I'm not back to that thing. If you look back at this, the channel, I think it is here. At least I still have the smiley faces here, right? They haven't given me strikes yet. So, well, I'm not sure it'll be long. So I'll try to communicate with you guys. Connect with me on Twitter so that if they knock me off of there, if they knock me off Twitter and YouTube, it's going to be hard to find me right now. So I probably need to diversify a little bit, but I'll let you know that on Twitter, you guys can follow me. And I'd really like you to send memes to me and stuff. So connect with me here. This is at Blessed to Teach. There's a lot of great stuff that I'm tweeting out from great people who are sending me stuff. So here's some new stuff on Comey. Here's some great memes that I'm forwarding all over the place and getting from you guys. So a lot of these things are coming from Lou B. You know, this one came from Diamond Bar. So I'm getting a lot of cool things from all kinds of different people. Again, at Blessed to Teach. come there and just forward me memes. Just put @blessed to teach in your any type of message you want to send to me. You can DM me on here as well. So let's get the memes out and get the word out here through Twitter and other means, right? So that was really covering 1261. Let's go 1262 here. Anon says, is macaroni, right? Talking about President Macron, right? Is he our guy, or is this all a sham? And so you can see Q says, politics, same for Merkel, think movie. So they're talking about Angela Merkel here from Germany, and obviously Macron from France are basically completely sold out to the EU and into the deep state and into the whole cabal. And it's all a movie that they're actually serving the people when they're not. They're serving themselves, and they're serving the cabal. So then he replies to that same one, and he expands on it a little bit more, saying, think logically. Attack the world? ? Are the people of France to blame? Right? So basically he said, we can't just attack France. We have to understand that the leaders are the corrupt ones. We can't blame the people of France. Are the people to blame for the ruling class, leaders, or controllers? So we have to do what we're doing in the United States. We have to clean up the deep state in every country. So apply leverage strategically. That's what we're going to be doing, is let's clean the house out of the Saudi Arabia like we already have, cut those ties, cut off all the funding to that we're buying off all the politicians. So now they're not getting so wealthy from Saudi Arabia. And then one by one, we're going to create unity, great awakening as well, till we get a huge power shift. There's a rise of the people. The people of Iran are great people. They want freedom. The people of Armenia just got it worldwide. This is going to move worldwide, just like it did Armenia, where all those people came out peacefully and they got rid of the corrupt president. The president who made himself prime minister, then changed the rules where he got all the power as a prime minister. And now he had to step down because he saw that people were completely against him. And that's what we need to do, is get completely behind our leaders. It's interesting, they're hiding some of these, which irritates me. So you guys aren't seeing each other's tweets sometimes because of words just like terrorism. And then you said, now why would they do that? You said something about Hitler, and they won't show that on the live chat. So I'm freeing those up so you guys can have a good conversation without being censored. All right. So, and then it says not understood ? I kind of took that as he's being kind of sarcastic here, to saying we understand that now, right? Q community, right? Truthers, we understand that this deep state is deeply entrenched in the world leaders, especially in the EU, and that's going to take some time to root them out. And so we had to do it strategically and one by one and unity. And so these I'm just excited that I see so many people from other countries like Canada and Australia and other patriots coming together that are not just the United States. This is a huge movement. The world is watching, as he would say. So we look at this here, and here's another picture that he posted, and this is somebody that's posted, do you know #Cueanon, the Great Awakening, #the Great Awakening. And here's a little red thing that says, where we go one, we go all. That's our famous statement, right? So literally in public, and just a telephone pole, and Q, and this says IRL when ? And then here's Q replies to that back saying the world is connected, all or nothing, +++++++. Trust the plan. We get massive amounts of Q thank you letters from around the world every single day. The world is watching. All capital letters. The world is Eddie, be careful of your swear words, or they won't. You're not gonna be able to see them. So I just freed it up, so it wasn't too bad. So hey, anyway, the world is watching. All capital letters. Again, that's the emphasis here. Man, when I first saw this, I was so happy that God was intervening to come and heal our land of America. Now I'm seeing He's doing much more than that. Way more than that. He's not only healing the systems within the United States of the corrupt Congress, but He's also exposing the criminality within the all the branches, right? Not only the executive branch, but also the judicial branch. And it's like so cool to see the FBI being exposed. Wow, new stuff coming out on Comey, new stuff coming out on McCabe. We have Rudy Giuliani going and talking to the actual special counsel Mueller. So exciting things are happening every day now. It's getting hot. Things are happening. The storm is here. Let's look at here this next one. This is number 1264. Think logically, attack the world. So now we just read this, but this is that. So that was just replying to that as an extension. So here we go. So now we're on 1265. Big long one here. Pretty cool one though. We knew this day would come. We knew people would need a guide. We all have a part to play. We knew Flynn would be challenged. Part of the plan. So let me just take that right there. So we knew this day would come. Right? When people started waking up and they started turning the tables and the boomerang happened and all the criminalities being exposed, we knew people would need a guide. That's why we have Cueanon here. That's why the news is being coordinated when unlocking the map that we're building. The map being all this information that we're pulling together with great anons, much smarter than me. And I told you my sources. It's vote.co, voat.co. Probably the number one though one I use is reddit.com. You go in and you subscribe to two things. The first one I love is the Great Awakening. They closed down the calm before the storm, which was the best one. And then a lot of those people moved to the Great Awakening or to vote.co. And then also the Donald is another one to go to in Reddit. But great stuff. So now we build the guides, and it's just awesome. We have our part to play. Our part, I think, for these who are on this board, is probably help wake up other people. Pray for the president. Shower this movement in prayer. Right? So everybody's going to have a different role, but know what your part is. Pray about what it should be. We knew Flynn would be challenged. Part of the plan. Flynn Jr. did not lie to VP. So if you look this up, there's a tweet by Flynn Jr. saying that his dad did not lie to Pence. Whoa! Can you believe that? So if I look at, see if I can, I think I might have it right here. That's a Dark Parts of Reddit one. Here it is. Here's the tweet. Junior, he says, American Patriot at General Flynn did not lie to Pence or anyone else in the admin about his perfectly legal and appropriate conversations with Russians AMB Kislyak in December 2016. Why would a highly decorated military intel officer lie about something legal? Been an MSM lie from day one. Wow, and so Q's actually talking about this. Now, CNN's freaking out and about this and going, no way, what do you mean when he's saying his dad didn't lie at all, right? So kind of a cool thing. So Q's bringing that up. So what's he say about it? Timing, plan, part of the plan. So basically this whole thing about them coming in and literally doing a sting operation on Flynn, and Flynn saying he lied and firing him was really, he didn't lie. It was a plan to just get him out of the administration, to heat off him and be able to work from the sidelines. I think that's my, you let me know whether you think there's another part of that plan that might be. Signature sent, White House position, moves and counter moves, roles outside of White House, right? So obviously Flynn's been working in all these sealed indictments probably for a ton of times because he knew where the bodies were buried. That's why they wanted to get rid of him, because they knew that Flynn Jr. had a list of all the pedophiles, right? And so if Flynn knows where all the bodies buried, they got rid of him, so they just worked it to, well, okay, you'll do it out. The counter move is we'll just have him do it outside the White House. Lost House, funds for legal, beat up. You are watching he always talks about a movie. So they're having to play this game with everything's going on, right? So somehow he got funds for his legal. Even though he's beat up, he's still able to fight back. And even now, what is right? What is wrong? Up is down, left is right. Left is capital left, right? So this is that movie we're watching where 4D chess is being played by Trump, the administration, and NSA, and military intelligence, and they're getting their butts kicked because God's blessing them, and that we need to keep praying for that. And it's confusing the enemies. Let's keep praying for that too. So White House position, rapid changes. Why? Planned. So there's a lot of changes going right now with Bolton cleaning house, everybody cleaning house because the stage is set. It took a long time to get the stage set. Visibility is in one helps another, question mark. Connected. CA to Secretary of State, North Korea, Iran, Russia, China, Mexico. Why is this relevant? So this is often talking about the CIA, right? We're actually doing everything. It's with the Secretary of State, and probably talking about Hillary Clinton here back or Kerry later. But they obviously were controlling North Korea. They're controlling Iran. They're working with Russia with all their uranium, working with China, working with Mexico to bring in all the drugs and the human trafficking and the gun running, etc. Huge amount of money. The reason it's relevant, this is how they funded all their off-the-books activities, including bribing and blackmailing people. So think pushback, open source. Why? So now what's happening is everything's becoming open source, and Q's having us go research everything we can already find. And if it's in the public, it can be used in admission of court, right? It's not confidential. So if there's stuff that's open source and he's pointing us to it and we go find it and pull it all together for everybody, that can be used in the court of law. Why? Because it can be used in the court of law. They are watching. So we right now probably listen to this broadcast right now. There's likely CIA agents, right? There's obviously they're watching the board. I don't want to be prideful and they're just watching me. I'm just saying that as far as the board, they're watching the board really heavily. Armenia had all those CIA agents and George Soros deep staters looking at this, right? Proofs provided to retain. Proof proves past. Future proves past. History books, right? This is all going to be in the history books to see like, wow, this is how you don't be a criminal if you're the deep state. This is how you take down decades and decades and maybe centuries of corruption. Woo! It's going to be crazy. Crazy stuff. Yeah, so I'm not sure what you meant about share. Thanks for sharing what. I got to Esmeralda, Real, got to see you, Coolzam, JM. Nice to see you guys, Gil A. A bunch of new names. Awesome, guys. I love it. So now here we go. That was a pretty long one. Let's go to this one here, which is another. This basically replies to the last one we just read. I'm going all the way up to see it's 1266 I'm on now. And here we are. They tried to delete the proof. We know about that. That's the acid washing of all the. Even that didn't work. We think we have all 30,000 emails, right, that are going to be released. We think pretty soon. But the texts we will read. We'll read in a second. They were actually released, but not to the public yet. So obviously to Congress. And so POTUS win 1-20. 1 of 20. Let me know what you think that is. I saw a lot of anons guessing what that was, and I never saw something that sat as right. You know, that talking about Pence being one that is not with him, and 20 of them that are on in the White House are with him. But I just said that didn't just make sense to me. So whatever you show me what you think the POTUS win 1 of 20 is. Again, I get a lot of mine by reading. I don't watch a lot of other videos, so you may have heard it from some other great QTuber. So let me know. Deep clean. That's what they're doing. They're cleaning out the anti-Trumpers and the no Trumpers out of there, right? Never Trumpers, I guess they'd be called. They never thought she would lose. So they didn't do a good job deleting them in time. They started deleting them after he was elected. By that time, it was too late. And they got insurance without cover. So unfortunately, they didn't have the cover set up. Nothing is deleted. No such agency. That's the NSA. The NSA's got it all. So basically, all those NSA tools are being used to go against the deep state. And since they're criminals, that's legal. Well, the CIA was basically creating all the tools and then some of the NSA and putting it against the American population, right? Including the president's campaign. Tool, develop, primary, plus meta essential. So basically, this is talking about all these tools they need to have to figure out how to uncover this, plus the metadata I think they're talking about is essential. Easy cover. Acts so sick and evil conspiracy push. Fake reality almost always wins. So again, we've got this that they're so sick here with all the pedophilia and the sacrificing and the evil things we're going to find out. They're the only way they're going to try to get away with it is they're going to tell us we're all conspiracy theorists. That's how they got rid of Operation Mockingbird, which the new JFK files that were released showed us was a fact. They had over 40 this is back in 1965 or so. They had over 40 people in the CIA, double agents, over 40. They have thousands of them now because it's grown massively from then. We know that it is. Maggie Haberman is an example. Q called her out specifically as getting 4 a.m. talking points, having a burner phone, getting the anti-Trump narrative, and then she spouts it in her newspaper, I think New York Times, and spouts it on CNN. This hatred of Trump, but it's always the same narrative. That's a false narrative. So again, if anybody's watching mainstream media, you're just getting propaganda, deep state propaganda points they give them every morning. Trust the plan. Hard to swallow for many. And that's again what these evil crimes they're doing against children is going to be really hard for people to swallow. But it's truth. We got to let people know about it. Treason, corruption first. Think resignations. So basically they're getting people on their treason and corruption acts first before going to the hard stuff. And they're getting people to resign that aren't the hardcore criminals, right? Think of the Speaker of the House, Ryan. Coincidence? Speaker of House resigning? Obviously with Ryan and we've got the huge amount of, I think it's over 90 now, that aren't running for re-election. So it's not really resigning, they're not running for re-election. You have more than you know. Have faith. Where we go one, we go all. Q. Inspirational stuff here tonight he's given us. So now he takes that same one, replies to it, he gives it a little bit more. Remember, it's not just America, worldwide. WW equals worldwide. Try harder. Yeah, so make sure that we're not just looking at it as just Americans, at being so self-absorbed. This is a worldwide movement, and we need to be part of that army of God I was talking to you about, right? To help the entire world, not just us. So here we are at 1268. Did you know? Question mark. Quiet. Army Lieutenant General Paul Nakasone. Good. Now, if you go look at this guy just is going to be taking over, I think, in May 4th or so from Admiral Rogers. Admiral Rogers is a hero. He's the one who has orchestrated the plan here that is being executed with precision. And it's these chess moves of counter. It's like military intelligence. Whatever the deep state does, they're countering them. They have them completely surrounded, and they're in a deep state panic. We talk about that all the time. So this guy, if you go read about him, there's some articles that are about him that actually show about how great he is at cyber attacks, etc. So he's going to be a really key person going forward. Here we are looking at a bunch of capitalists and this is kind of another inspirational thing. So I'm going to read this thing. Are you awake? Do you see for yourself the MSM equals propaganda tool of the left? Do you see Facebook, Twitter, Google censoring non-left point of views? Obviously not. Do you see the corruption? Yes, we all do. Do you see the evil? Oh my goodness. Are you a slave? In other words, are you listening to MSM and letting them control your mind? Or are you thinking for yourself? Are you controlled? Are you a sheep? Are you awake? Yes, we are. Do you think for yourself? Learn the truth. Facts, history, the Great Awakening. They are losing control. Respect opinion or attack those who dare to challenge a narrative. Man, how awesome to see Candace and Kanye, African Americans, speaking their mind, saying I'm black and I'm proud to have an opinion, right? Versus saying you have to think this way. It's right in front of you. You are the true fascists. No, who are the true fascists? Obviously, it's not people who love Trump. It's not the patriots. Who are the true fascists? It's Antifa. It's George Soros. It's all these far left communist movements, socialist anti-people movements, anti-capitalism. That's the fascist. Who are the true racists? It's the people saying blacks can't think. Blacks have to vote Democratic. No, they don't. They're going to vote. They should be vote for people that are helping them. That's why they're the lowest unemployment rate ever. Because Trump's doing things that actually helps the communities. Why does the Antifa flag mimic that of Nazis? Wow. I'm going to show you pictures of that in a second. So last thing. Coincidence? For humanity, wake up, learn, fight, fight, fight. Where we go one, we go all. Q. Whoa. Inspirational stuff here. Here's the tweet I was talking about. Sarah Carter. I was going to show you guys this. She said, waiting. Everyone is. We'll let you know as soon as it happens, because the stroke and page text messages were supposed to be released last night or today, and here it was at night, and it hadn't been yet. And somebody's asking when. And this Anon says soon, and then Q basically says happened. It already happened. Not public. Debate how to handle buying time, toxic, dangerous threats. So that's what's right behind me. That's what I started this with. That's the name of this particular broadcast, right? Is it's text released, not public. Buying time, toxic, dangerous threats. They're debating on how to handle this, right? Because this is going to be the mother of all booms, is all these things in there. One of the things we know is in there is talk about assassinating President Trump. So that's another thing I'm going to talk to you about right now real quick before we go to the rest of them. If you look at the text, if you just type in text up in the upper left corner, you can go to Cueanon.pub, Cuanon.pub. Do it yourself. Make sure you understand that, or get that app. Get the app I was talking about. You can download right here, Q Drops. Right? So here you go. Listen. There's a Q Drops, right? So go download that on your Android or your Apple, and it'll give you Q Drops, right? And it costs 99 cents, but it's worth it. It gets you a lexicon of everything. I was showing this earlier in the broadcast, right? You can go and each of these are real summarized for you, but you can click on them and it'll give you the normal way it looks here, right? So you can see, not sure how much that comes out, but awesome app. And or go to Cueanon.pub. Go to the upper left, type text here. You can also do that in the app. Sort you, and it shows me I have 8 of those 1,200, 1,300, 1,260 posts. 8 of them have the word text in it. If you click on here, go Control F again and type text again, and then go backwards. And look, I want to just show you real quick about these texts. The first one we had was January 21st, and it said FBI accidentally deleted text, ? Obviously, another complete piece of information and evidence to show us the FBI is completely corrupted by Comey and McCabe and Stroke and Page. They literally lie and say they lost the text. And so back then, this is on January 21st. So if you go backwards again, see the next one was just repeating that. But let's go to the next one. Here we are on January 22nd, and this is the bombshell. He actually, I was going to go over this with you guys, and he actually reposted it in a tweet. I mean, a drop we're going to get to in a second. But look, this is key. Listen to this. If you're just kind of wandering a bit or texting, listen to this part, because this is pretty cool. What would happen if text originating from the FBI, from an FBI agent to several internals, discussed the assassination possibly of the POTUS or a member of his family? What if the text suggests foreign allies were involved? Woo! Look at that. This was back on January 22nd. Now it's coming out. The news unlocks the map. Future unlocks the past. That's what he's talking about here. So this is obviously what he's talking about. What would happen if text originating from an FBI agent to several internals discussed the assassination possibility of the POTUS, that's the President of the United States, or members of his family? What if the text suggests foreign allies were involved? And this goes on the back. This is only the beginning. Be careful for what you wish for as the world turns. Now, that's the next thing I want you to search. If you go look at As the World Turns, that's the soap opera that was playing that Walter Cronkite interrupted. I'll put a link and shows you that video where the As the World Turns was playing, the soap opera, and then boom, Walter Cronkite comes on CBS News to announce that the president has been shot. And so As the world turned, every time you say that, what we now, most anons think that is, it's talking about an assassination attempt on the president that was foiled. Woo! It's like 10 times in here. I'll show you it later. Could messages such as those be publicly disclosed? What happens to the FBI? What happens to DOJ? What happens to special counsel? What happens to the general? What happens in general? Every FBI, DOJ previous case could be challenged. Just think about that. Lawless. Think logically. Wow, if people are saying, some of the worst case, let's say that Obama's treasonous and ends up finding out he wasn't even born here, and et cetera, or just the fact that the FBI was corrupt. Wow, we are going to have chaos, and people that were put in jail are going to be, everybody's going to be fighting to get out to challenge every ruling. That's why this could get really crazy. They haven't started the drops regarding human trafficking sacrifices yet. Now they've started those, obviously. Those good who know cannot sleep. Those good who know cannot find peace. Those good who know will not rest until those responsible are held accountable. That's right. We should not rest till they're held accountable. Nobody can possibly imagine the pure evil and corruption out there. Those you trust are the most guilty of sin. Are we taught to trust? Who are we taught to trust? If you are religious, pray. Yes, please pray. 60% must remain private, at least for humanity. Those people should be hanging. Q. So remember, that's the text message, right? So we can continue to go back a little bit to see the text messages. That was one that was just an article. And then here it says, what will the text reveal? He said on April 24th. And what we know they're going to reveal was what was back there, right? And now here's another thing. If you look at, this is what I just put, as the world turns. And if you come and hit as the world turns again on after Control F, as the world turns. And you'll see there are 13 matches, but 10 times it looks like it happened here. All the way back on December 7th. So was there a foiled assassination potentially on December 7th? Maybe. That's what the theory is. What about December 9th? Here's another one that came out on December 22nd, the day after the executive order that basically freezing the assets of everybody. Here's another one that was on this January 13th. Another one that was on January 22nd. Another one on As the World Turns on February 15th. That'd be 6. Another one on March 6th, so the next month. Another As the World Turns. That was still March 6th. April 8th as an As the World Turns. April 20th as the world turns. That's April 20th again. April 21st potentially, or it might have been the same one there. But 9 or 10 times, if this is correct, they've found foiled attempts to assassinate the president. That's the theory. It's like, whoa, deep stuff happening here. And so when I showed you the app, here's an article. I'll link you to this, but this is that big theory. As the World Turns Decoded, right? It was April 23rd, given credit here to Neon Revolt. I've shown you this site before. It's neonrevolt.com, and he does some great analysis on Q. I'll show you it. Here's the video that actually shows as the world turns plain, and then it turns into Walter Cronkite coming on to announce that the president was shot. I think it's Walter Cronkite. You might be able to correct me on that if I was wrong there. And then he just talks about how it's a foiled Trump on assassination attempt. So anyway, you'll be able to see that, and you'll see those are the dates I just rolled over with you. And he kind of goes through each of those areas I just reviewed with you, including this one right here. Remember where the car came off during the presidential. If you play this, the president's car is coming through, and some random car comes off right when the motorcade was going by, as a potential example. And I'm not sure what date that was, but it'd be interesting to go see how that correlates to the dates as the world turns from Q. So, woo! Crazy stuff here. Let's keep going. This is getting a little lengthy, so I'm going to probably speed it up a little bit here. Another thing I didn't look, he says, note 187 Q. So again, talking about that 187 meaning murder, right? So they're threatening probably murder. Now, who they're going to murder, who they're threatening is question marks. Now, then he reposted what I just read to you. That's back on 586. That basically talks about the text messages, right? Now here, and I know there's several people tell me, read 586 after yesterday's broadcast. And so we just read it, right? Just a whole day late. Now here we are in 1273. What happens to the special counsel? Rudy met with Mueller today. Coincidence? Connect. Public announcement? End of POTUS investigation? Continue with other investigations? Stage set? Support growing? We know that. Strategic? Yes. Planned? Yes. We have it all. Welcome to the White House. So, guys, I really believe, you know my theory, that Mueller is a complete white hat, or at least a black hat under a controlled opposition, right? That is a huge distraction. And here we go. Here's the last post, at least before I went off air. I mean, when I started, yep. So this person here is a Cueanon that says, why does the Antifa flag mimic that of the Nazis? Is Q retarded? Their flags are completely different. As sarcastic, right? But look at this. This is the new Antifa flag. It literally has an AF here, almost like the swastika. The exact same colors, the exact same black, red, crossed with a symbol in the upper left. Look at this. Symbol in the upper left, swastika in the middle. I mean, almost exactly the same. This is Antifa, and CNN won't disavow it. So that's what Q's asking. Try harder, ready for tomorrow, Q. So it's like, oh my goodness. And this basically says, this person here says, when will CNN disavow Antifa for throwing urine-filled bottles at the police in Boston today? Or do they endorse it? Does the new Antifa flag remind you of anything? Woo! Obvious, right? Okay, I'm going to go through a bunch of news real quick and do a Mark Taylor thing and then wrap it up here. Here's Sarah Carter saying, is anybody waiting? Then Q posted it later, so we don't need to go over that. I talked about my Twitter. Make sure you send me memes, @BlessedToTeach, right? Now, there's one more whole browser full of awesome news that came from various sources that I thought I'd go over real quick. This is Kanye West is being retweeted by Trump, saying, thank you, Kanye. Very cool. And what does Kanye say here? He says, we don't have to agree with Trump, but the mob can't make me not love him. We are both dragon energy. He is my brother. I love everyone. I don't agree with everything he does, but that's what makes us individuals, and we have the right to independent thought. Woo! Cool stuff. And so this is really could be a huge change in getting people to just us coming together as patriots. There goes my microphone. No matter what your color of skin is, no matter what your race is, no matter what your political beliefs are, we should be coming together to take down this evil cabal of criminals, right? Okay. See if I've got this all messed up now as everything falls apart. Here's another one that's real quick. The all-out smear campaign against Kanye has begun. His mother-in-law already having to come to his defense to shut down the fake news. So basically this person says, and I don't know if this is People Magazine or what it is, People, it says Kanye West has been explosive fights with Kris Jenner and Kim Kardashian can't control him. Sources, People Magazine. I guess that is People Magazine. And basically his mother-in-law says, lies, lies, lies. So here we go. So they're going to try to take down Kanye. They're already after everybody else that's African-American that speaks good. Here's an interesting. So I talked to you about this board, the Great Awakening, on Reddit. Go to reddit.com, sign up, and then subscribe to the Great Awakening. There's a lot of people here that are ex-Bernie. It's really cool to read it. A lot of them. And so there's, guys, don't give up on people. That very liberal people are coming to open up. And this says, newbie here, I effing love this subreddit. And so let me read this real quick. This is pretty cool. So I am new to Fallen Q, but I'm already sold. I've always been a bit of a red-pilled person. Even back when I was a kid, I thought
the entire world was a scam and run by scumbags. It's nice to see I wasn't wrong in my thoughts. I was a Bernie bro, and honestly, I kind of always liked Trump because I thought he was a wild card and anti-establishment. Trump has a million times the balls that Bernie has had. You need balls of steel to take on these scumbags. Anyway, I just popped in to say, hey, I thank you guys and are doing an amazing job. Keep up the good fight. And there's 76 comments welcoming this guy, basically, saying, welcome, I'm new too. You should think about posting a bit, as it's nice to have someone to discuss things that in other company would get you in a lot of strange looks, right? So just great discussion here, guys. I really encourage you to go on here. And then speed it up a bit. Judicial Watch, new Clinton emails reveal classified docs, Clinton Foundation connections. So more classified emails were just found today, right? This is April 25th document from the Judicial Watch. Support those guys, man. They're doing a great job getting this out. But it was only like thousands, not even close to the 33,000. I think it was like 300 and some emails or whatever, when we have 281 pages is what we have here versus the 33,000 that were deleted, right? Now, or attempted to delete. Here's something that says CNN, why the win for Republicans in Arizona 8 is still good news for Democrats. There's CNN trying to basically twist the news of a Republican win as if it was good. Here's the Breitbart article. It's more truthful, saying blue wave fizzles as AP declares Republican winner of the Arizona special congressional election. Again, this isn't right versus left, but when the left has become so evil, we have to come together to take down the criminals, right? And so, revolution worldwide, overthrow your corrupt officials, end the regime that is in the deep state. So this is back to Armenia. Look at this, guys. Just millions of people crowding that square, coming with a peaceful. We just outed our corrupt prime minister in Armenia with a 10-day peaceful revolution. 200,000 people on the streets of the capital. How cool is that? He was president for 10 years, then changed constitution and elected himself prime minister. So next up, Parliament. So now they're going to go after getting rid of the evil Parliament. Again, this is where George Soros is, his foundation's here, tons of CIA's there. And so overthrowing this is freeing the people. Q told us that. It's freeing the people, just like we freed North Korea from the CIA deep state, corruption / and control of them. They controlled the people. The people were stuck. Here's somebody talking about this. Wake up, people. We are in the Great Awakening. This guy says, we've been financing terrorists, training them and arming them to kill us and create new wars. Our hard-earned money goes to the establishment who has decided that fear and death is the best way to keep in control. We pay for them, kill us, and destroy our children, feeders. Iran, North Korea are cabal states. Money laundering, arm trafficking, human smuggling, drug trade. The list is probably endless. The world's leaders get rich off these states. The arm of them to cause problems, and then we pay for them in more taxes to pretend to clean up the mess. No more. Thought that was an inspirational thing from a guy named Kiss Toad from the Great Awakening site, right? Supreme Court appears ready to uphold the travel ban we get. Last piece of news I have is this kind of a meme that was here, which basically said, here's an election, and the Democrats are basically saying the only message is the GOP hates black people, right? Total disinformation. That's trying, and that's just not going to work anymore, especially when all the corruption comes out, right? So that's it for the news. We'll get into one Mark Taylor prophecy. So here we go. A lot of good discussion going on here. Who is Mark Taylor? Mark Taylor is basically a man that is a retired fireman, and he wrote a prophecy. He was sick for about 10 years. God really worked on him, and then God started giving him people around him, basically telling him that he was going to be a prophet. And in 2011, he wrote a prophecy about Trump becoming president. That was very detailed, a lot of information to it, and it all came true. And so he's now written like 22 prophecies, and you can go to swordrescue.com, SORD rescue.com. In fact, I'll show it to you real quick. If you just go to a browser and you go to SORD swordrescue.com, and you look at swordrescue.com, you're going to see this prophetic words. This used to be a separate website, but now he's got just this on here. And you'll see this is Mark Taylor. That's a picture of him there. He co-authored a book called The Trump Prophecies, but all 20 of his prophecies or so are all free right here. There's the one in 2011. You can download the file and see for yourself the detail of his prophecy. I really believe, and that's how we test prophets, is if they have to come true. If things are completely false and can be proven false and can't be true later, then that person's probably not a true prophet of God. Everything I've seen and all his prophecies are coming true. It's amazing to me. So here's one of them that he actually wrote down on April 26 in 2016, right? So 6 months before the election, 7 months before the election. And he's basically talking about churches and the problems with the churches not having power. And he's calling this purging the temple. So this is what Mark Taylor is saying God is saying. So we're going to read through these two short paragraphs. The Spirit of God says, the 501c3, those are eating off it are not eating from my tree. For when I told Adam and Eve, do not eat from the tree of knowledge and good and evil, for you shall surely see, so it is with those that eat from the 501c3. For this demonic document that you have signed has now made you spiritually deaf, mute, and blind. Woe to those who continue to use this demonic system, for you will be exposed and purged from this evil cistern. The Spirit of God says, can you not see that you are taking a bribe? They will say it's all about that money, and for that you shall be kicked from my tribe. Take a bite from the apple has taken you from a spiritual body to a brick and mortar and has placed you under the new world order. For how can you be a part of my spiritual body when you have cut off my head? For those that don't turn will surely fall as dead. Tear up the contract, repent, divorce Baal, and remarry me, and I will remove the spiritual blindness so you can once again see. Come out of this before it's too late, for my judgments are on those systems that I hate. Come out, for I will no longer tolerate. Wow, guys, that's really damning to see. And I've been looking at this for the last year since I've read this, and I just really believe it's true that the 501c3. I went to a church. I love the pastor, awesome, big church, but they won't get politically involved in anything. They're completely strapped by this 501c3, so scared to lose their tax deduction status, they won't even talk about anything to do with taking ground and where God wants us to become the army of God and go fight. They won't do anything. I left the church. I'm going to a different church now. Because, in fact, I went to Prestonwood Baptist Church, and you saw the book I got with Trey Gowdy there. These guys aren't scared. They had Trey Gowdy there and Tim Scott, right? These guys right here. They had them there. They're both Republicans. Well, they're talking about unifying African Americans and whites, and it doesn't matter. It's unifying people against evil corruption. The church needs to fight that. The churches that don't fight that are going to end up dying, like this is saying. And if you're part of a 501c3 charity, get out of it. That's what Planned Parenthood is part of 501c3s. You don't need the tax deductions if you're already a church, by the way. We've never taxed churches. You don't need 501c3 not to get taxed, especially with Trump as president. You're completely safe. Get out of the demonic ball document. That's what he's calling this. So challenge all those of you who in charities, make sure you get out of these and get one that where God's the head, not the satanic 501c3 head that basically Jefferson and others used to basically the Johnson Amendment to take the speaking voice out of the church that needs to be there. All right. So the Johnson Amendment, you're right. Sultry. Okay, so sorry for getting a little frustrated there, but that's the way I feel. We've really got to get with churches that understand this, that will be politically active, that will actually do things that we need to do to become a unified nation, right? A unified world, patriots coming together, fighting evil. Let's do that. Let me pray real quick, and then we'll talk a little bit on the chat. Heavenly Father, I just lifting you up, Lord. Thank you so much for this word of God, that if he's a true prophet that tells us that we need to get out of 501(c)(3)s and we need to have you as the head of our ministries. You are the head of our churches. You as the head of our lives. Lord, thank you for the Lord Jesus Christ letting us have a relationship to be able to speak directly to you, directly to the omniscient, omnipotent, and all-knowing God. How cool is that to have an omnipresent, is everywhere, and omnipotent, all-knowing, and omniscient, all-knowing, and omnipotent, all-powerful God. Wow! All-powerful, and we can talk to you. Omniscient, we can talk to you. Omnipresent, you're everywhere. At all times, you're right here with us as we're preaching. As we're praying to you, Lord. Thank you for being the omniscient, omnipotent, and omnipresent God that loves us. And you have power over oil. You have power, the black gold that we're talking about earlier. You have power over these demonic forces that think they have the timeline. It's the enemy's timeline to overthrow America by 2022. You have denied that timeline. You have now anointed somebody to come in and heal this nation. Lord, I just thank you for that. And we pray for the safety of these people. And we pray that your plan is just executed to perfection and that the enemy's evil is just continuing to be revealed, not only here in the United States, but throughout the world. Lord, give us, everyone listen to this, give them just comfort and knowing that you're going to use them in a mighty way as part of this army of God. Lord, let them know where you want to use them. Lord, I want to know how to be used. And we're here to serve you, Lord. We love you. Thank you for this. Thank you for Cueanon giving us this information. Thank you for giving us truth. Allow us to have discernment, to know what's true and not true, what's disinformation, what's not disinformation. Allow us to wake up other brothers and sisters, other people that we love, friends, family. And Lord, we just dedicate our lives to you in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. All right, guys, let's talk this a little bit on chat, and then we'll wrap it up here. I really appreciate you guys are live. When I have this much material, it's hard for me to talk much. Jill Paul, I don't think I've seen that name before. Welcome. Thank you, and heaven bless you all for your families. I love it. That's why I love small churches. I hear you, Jesse. Sometimes that's much best. Yeah, swordrescue.com. Frank, my charity is simple. I try to give for my veterans buddies. I love it. Hey, we have a lot of veterans here. I'm just really privileged. I was never in the military. My brother was a navigator on a hovercraft during the first war in, I guess it was Saddam. But wow, I'm just humbled to see the amount of people that are listening and talking. And I really, really appreciate you guys. Amen, amen. I'm 29. Nice to see you, Kush Nasty, Celtic Rain. Why do you need a middleman to talk to the Father? Jesus didn't need a church or organized religion. Well, you need a middleman with Jesus. He's the only way to the Father. That's exactly what it is. God is not dead. That's right, Jesse. Thanks so much. But you don't need a middleman. You're right. But you do need to praise through Jesus Christ. That's what we say. That's how the only way we can come to the Father. That's His truth. But man, we know that the Father and the Lord Jesus Christ is an mighty, amazing, omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipowerful God, right? That can be everywhere at any time. He's all powerful. He's all knowing. What an incredible privilege to be able to pray directly to that. Great stuff. God's not dead. I love it. I am here, and after. I am here, but after the show, not notified. I'm not sure what that is, Julie. That's a bummer. Yeah, I know they may be playing with us, YouTubers, or whether we're going to get truth out there or not. I can't find the Q Drops app. Well, I just typed in Q Drops. It was actually in the App Store in Apple. So I had literally just downloaded a second ago. So hopefully it's in the Play Store as well. So if you go to the Play Store and you just type in QDROP with no spaces. Don't put a space there. So do Q Drops with no spaces. Hopefully you can see that. Probably too much light there. But and then I just downloaded it for 99 cents. Worth it, guys, because it gives you notifications right away. It was awesome. May Jesus Christ give us strength and wisdom. I love it. Irish 6MSC. Praise Jesus, Oklahoma. Darn, I miss it all. Can I do it over for me? Hey, Gary, the good thing about it's recorded, right? Just saying hello. Thanks, Beth Ann Miller. For those nothing hidden that he will not reveal. Love it. Irish Hoss 6MCS. Keep believing. He has gave me more time. I love it, SS. Good evening, Q Patriots. God is great. And I got Ronald Fields. Karen Moore, and I have Google Play Store. It's not there. Go figure. Bummer. Google probably took it out. So maybe it's only coming out in Apple right now. Sometimes they do that. They open up, they put an app in Apple using iOS technology, right? And then they have to use some type of other technology like HTML5 or something to come out and do it in the Google Play Store. So hopefully it'll come out there soon. But hey, go to Cueanon.pub and you'll be able to get, obviously, your updates anytime you want there to just refresh the browser. You're just not going to get the notifications is the cool part of that, right? So enjoy your show. Thank you. Blessings. Thank you, Anna. Nostalgia. Hey, guys. So I think I'm going to wrap it up there. Whether called or not, he will come. Miguel Solo. A lot of great people here. Hey, you guys have a great night. Again, let's keep each other up in prayer. Come to my Twitter, please. Like and share this. Make sure that if you haven't subscribed, subscribe, and make sure you hit the bell. If you don't hit the bell, you're not going to get notifications. That's one thing. Somebody had said that they didn't get a notification. That means you may have hit the bell twice, and so make sure it actually shows you. You'll get all notifications versus just some notifications. That's a real point of that. But if you come to my Twitter account here, you're going to see lots of memes there. It's really fun to kind of be talking about it. But again, here we're going to wrap this version up. Texts released QAnon April 25th. The texts are released, not in public now, but the deep state is in deep crap right now. Exciting times. God bless you all. We'll talk to you next time.